Hi guys, and welcome to my first movie review. In 1917, when Walt Disney was a young boy, he went to a movie theatre and watched a silent movie. That movie was Snow White.
It's a thing I remembered as a kid. I saw Marguerite Clark in it in Kansas City one time when I was a newsboy. They had a big showing for all the newsboys, and I went and saw Snow White. It's probably one of my first big feature pictures I'd ever seen.
Walt loved the story of Snow White, and it stayed with him. In 1933, when the Walt Disney Studio was becoming successful, it already had Mickey Mouse out. It started doing shorts like The Three Little Pigs and The Silly Symphonies. Walt came to realise that the shorts were okay to keep the studio going, but to make some real headway, he wanted to start doing full-length cartoon features. Walt started looking around for fairy tales for which story would make a good feature. He then remembered Snow White from his youth. The story of Snow White had everything you could want for a feature. It had a love interest, it had comedic elements with the Dwarfs, and it had a really good antagonist with the evil queen. So in 1934, Walt gathered all his animators up, all gave them 50 cents and said, "Go get yourself some dinner and come back to the studio tonight." When the animators returned, Walt was waiting for them in an auditorium. He acted out the whole story of Snow White. He even told them where the songs were going to go in the film. Walt's enthusiasm for this feature convinced the animators that yes, it is indeed possible to make the world's first feature-length colour cartoon. When it was announced that they were going to do a full-length feature colour cartoon, everybody in Hollywood, the press and the Hollywood elite, all said this was Disney's folly. It was a foolhardy project. Comments like "nobody will ever sit for full-length feature" and "for sitting so long in a dark room with bright colours would actually hurt people's eyes." Even Walt's brother and wife told him not to do it. All of the naysayers and doubters are saying, "Do not do this. Do not follow this dream." What would you do? Well, Walt, he doubled down on his bet, mortgaged his entire house and fortune, and put it all on Snow White.
How long was Snow White in production, Walt?
We had the family fortune. We had everything wrapped up in Snow White. In fact, the banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was.
In preparation for Snow White, Walt had his animators prepare with the shorts The Old Mill and The Goddess of Spring. With these two shorts, the animators would learn to draw in a more realistic and lifelike manner. They would also have to get used to the new multi-plane camera, which was used to add dimension and distance to the animation. During the making of Snow White, Walt was always concerned and worried that would an audience be able to relate or have concern for a cartoon character. The fear was finally relieved when one of the animators, while they were discussing a scene where Snow White falls down, asked, "Won't Snow White get hurt?" With this comment, Walt realised there was genuine concern for Snow White's well-being. Walt wanted to ensure this was the best animation his studio could do, so he brought in rotoscoping as well. Rotoscoping is where a real-life actor would act out the scene for the animators, so they could see in real life what they were actually going to draw. So here we are with Snow White. The opening scene of Snow White is a storybook. Now this is a fantastic way of building intimacy between the film or the storyteller and the person watching it. Just seeing this makes me reminisce of when I was telling my children stories when they were younger. Absolutely fantastic way of building intimacy. It's not the audience, it's you and the storyteller. This scene here is the multi-plane camera doing its magic as we travel in through the woods and the trees to the castle. Snow White is a product of its time. I don't believe the word slave would make it into a Disney movie today like it has here. The main story in Snow White is about vanity. The evil queen wishes to be the fairest in the land. Unfortunately for her, she is informed that Snow White is. And here we meet Snow White, the princess of our story, working hard, cleaning, with no thanks, dreaming and hoping of meeting her first time love. She comes across a wishing well and has the power to talk to animals and they can understand what she's saying. It's not explained how she can do this, she can just do this. So back in the day before Tinder, all you had to do was ride around on your horse and listen out for women singing about what they were wishing for. And the prince knows he's onto a cert. Look at that smile. So here's the scene where Snow White is listening to the prince singing about his love for her, even though he's just met her. Anyway, this next scene here, where it looks like it's on location, it just pans across to Queen's window. Absolutely amazing animation. So the evil queen is ordering her huntsman to kill Snow White, and she wants her heart in this chest. So as Snow White is out picking wildflowers, she comes across a poor little bird that has lost its family. Upon seeing how kind Snow White was towards the bird, the huntsman cannot follow through with his orders from the evil queen to actually kill the princess. Poor Snow White is running off into the forest, absolutely petrified, her imagination working overtime, imagining that tree branches are actually hands grabbing out to hold her and pull her back. Snow White comes across the seven dwarfs' cottage. As she goes in, nobody seems to be at home. As she's looking around, she sees how dirty the place is and decides with her animal friends to tidy the place up, which is nice. And here we meet the hard-working dwarfs who own the cottage Snow White has just gate-crashed. What leading comedy for this movie? This one scene, oh, I love it. Just look at this. And one of the most famous Disney songs from any movie. This song's that famous, even the Gremlins love it. Once the dwarfs return back to their cottage, they discover Snow White asleep in their beds. After a discussion with the dwarfs, they agree to let Snow White stay if she cooks and cleans for them. Discovering that Snow White is still alive, the evil queen decides to disguise herself as an old beggar and to poison her with a poison apple. Snow White was warned by the dwarfs not to let any strangers into the cottage when they were away, so Snow White decided to start making pies for the dwarfs. When the evil queen tracked down Snow White and started to tempt her with the poison apple, with the woodland creatures looking on, worried for Snow White's well-being, they decide to get the seven dwarfs. The dwarfs chase down the evil queen up to a cliff face, but unfortunately for the evil queen, she falls to her doom. Unfortunately, the dwarfs were too late, and Snow White, they believe, is dead, but actually is in sleeping death. This is such a sad scene. Look, even the candle is crying. And as we begun with the storybook opening, this is the end of the storybook. This writing here lets the audience know that we are towards the end of the story. Absolutely fantastic piece of animation. The prince tracks down Snow White and wishes to give her one kiss. This kiss, true love's kiss, awakens her from the sleeping death. Everyone is so happy to see that Snow White is alive and well, and they live happily ever after. So, on the 21st of December 1937, Snow White premiered in Hollywood. All thought it was extremely funny how all Hollywood's top brass, all their movie stars came out to see a cartoon, even though all the naysayers saying it won't work. On that evening, Snow White received a standing ovation and has gone down to be a true Disney classic. This movie has changed the way animation has been done, all because of one man's dream.